Hello, hello, an unannounced live. Hi. One day we'll get sorted and have a schedule, and I'll tell you when I'm going live. So for anybody that finds this, hi, 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 hi. I got kind of high in my voice too, then, didn't I? I had planned on doing an interview this morning, and the tech didn't work. The app that I use for filming the interview, the other participant wasn't able to log on. I could see her picture. In fact, that's a lie. I could see her picture, but for some reason the sound wasn't working. I think there was a lot of buffering on her end, and it just wasn't happening. So she tried 3 times, and I don't have a backup plan. And I suppose the moral of the story is to have a backup plan. But anyway, I need to calm down a bit. And I thought, why don't I jump on a live? Because some of you who are following me, maybe you're interested in how I'm going public and working on the videos side of things. But it may be that you're wanting to do videos too, and the whole worrying about tech. Oh, I've just realized I didn't put my light on. Hold on. Ta-da! That's perfect. That's perfect. That illustrates my point completely. That things go wrong. Sometimes tech stuff goes wrong. Sometimes I forget to turn tech stuff on, and that's why it goes wrong. That's perfect. Perfect example. Forgot I'd turn the light off after the interview wasn't happening. This whole thing about things going wrong and how do you deal with it, I found that it's better to kind of think in advance how you best want to approach it. In particular, am I going to be stressing about, like, how much do I stress about fixing it in that moment? Or do I just say, this is going to take some time and let me get back to you? In terms of the interview, it's, I had to say, I don't have a backup plan for this tech not working. I don't have a Zoom account. I don't know. I've just been Googling how to add guests on YouTube as an interview, maybe just go live doing the interviews for that. I don't know those things. I don't have those things. And what I could have done is say, let me get back to you in 5 minutes. Let me get back to you in 10 minutes and stress about it. But I'd kind of decided in advance, a couple of years ago, really, of I don't want to be handling when things go wrong like that. And I thought it would be useful to chat to you. But as I was writing the description, it reminded me of a Brené Brown talk that she did. I don't know if you remember her. She does about vulnerability and also she had got a really great talk, and she talks about being in the arena and that you need to put yourself in, if you want to be sharing your work and contributing like that, then you need to be in the arena. And the arena is a scary place, but she was saying about the benefits of it. But she was talking about making mistakes or things going wrong. And she specifically says when they go wrong. And she said she was talking to this one business leader, and he said, yes, if things go wrong. And she said, whoa. Hold on. You're not listening to me here. You're not hearing me here. It's not if they go wrong. It's when they go wrong. And I think this is the whole thing about being public and putting yourself out there and saying something, is that when things go wrong, how do I want to handle it, or how do I want to show up? There was a long time where I would just be so embarrassed. And this wasn't about being on camera. This was about speaking to people, even just one-on-one. I get so embarrassed if I said the wrong word or if I forgot something, that I kind of, I kind of went into that fight or flight thing, and I kind of got a bit snappy or sharp with them. And I thought, I don't want to be that person. I don't it's not just about how I come across and how I sound and speak to them. It's I really don't want to be that person that is snappy and rude to somebody because of something I said, and then I'm just getting embarrassed and uncomfortable about it. I'd like to be able to laugh at myself, and I knew at that time that I was finding that really hard. And I thought, certainly if it's just a slip up, if it's just a little blah, blah, blah of something I've said, I want to be able to just say, oops, I said that wrong, or oops, I forgot that name. It's just brush it off and move on and be a bit lighter about things. So I decided, as I say, this was years ago. This was more about speaking in a super small, just one person. I found that just as I got a little bit more confident and I was okay in one situation, then a new situation would come up and any confidence would disappear. And I was living in Spain at the time. And there was a time when I was speaking to somebody and I accidentally said the wrong thing in Spanish, but I knew what it was. And that's really hard when you're learning a language, when you know it, but you don't do it because you're trying to tell to the other person, I do know that. I do know that. And I kind of snapped at her and she corrected me. I said something and she smiled and she was nice and she corrected me. And I went, oh, I know that. I do know that. And I thought afterwards, I just thought, that is not a good side of me to see. All she did was, in a really friendly, nice way, correct me. She didn't deserve me snapping at her like that. And as I say, it was kind of what brought it to a head. It's like, I can't decide in the moment how I'm going to be responding to people, to me making mistakes or anything like that happening. Or even, like today was a tech thing. But it can just as easily be me just saying the wrong thing. So I can't decide in the moment because in the moment, my feelings are going and churning. I need to decide in advance. And the advance was, if it's something simple like that, if I have made a mistake and it's something simple, I say, if I need to say sorry, I say it as quickly as possible and then I move on. Or I laugh about it and say thank you for the correction and move on. And in that moment, that's what I'm aiming to do. But as I say, it's not because, I don't know, I had some sort of personality transplant or whatever. It's just that I had to decide that it's completely separate to any emotions and things like that. Does that make sense? It'd be lovely if somebody surprised me and joined me on the YouTube. But anyway, yeah, things going wrong. So about the tech, decide in advance. If this doesn't work, do I give myself 10 minutes to try and fix it? Or do I just say, let's rearrange a date? And if they don't want to rearrange a date, I mean, my person I was interviewing today seems to be open about rearranging it. But if they don't want to rearrange it, that's okay too. One of the things that I had in my head was that I connected things going wrong to I'm not professional. I suppose you could say it's like I'm not good enough, but that wasn't the words. I wasn't saying it to myself, I'm not good enough. I was saying, this isn't professional. I'm not professional. Who am I to turn up and ask people to pay me money for work and, the things that come with being a professional? Who am I to do that if I can't manage these mistakes or if I can't eliminate them? I mean, the goal was to never have them happen. I had this sort of fantastical view of life that if I prepare enough, if I work hard enough, if I study enough, if I worry enough, then those mistakes won't happen. And as I say, I think that's the big switch. The big switch is not if mistakes happen, but when mistakes happen. My first live on Facebook, I didn't realize until I clicked end and save the video that the whole video had been on the side. I must have had the phone I don't know, portrait when it should have been landscape or vice versa. I didn't know how to correct it, but I didn't know I'd done it until I'd finished the whole live. And nobody said to me, I've done the whole video with me sort of hanging on to the side. And you just think, oh, I gotta laugh about these things. Really? There's, it's done now. Do I keep the video up? And it's, part of me thinks it's really useful. If there's somebody watching this who can't imagine doing a video, can't imagine going live, it's the tech, there's the talking, there's the showing up, there's just what will people think. There's so many things to worry about, or that I worried about. If you can't imagine doing a video, but you're kind of called to it, then I think it's useful for you to see my back catalogue of errors. Would it be good to delete all of those and show up at some point amazing and never making a mistake? Maybe. But I think it's useful for you to say, okay, that's how everybody's first videos happen. That's the mistakes that happen. Oh, she forgot to turn a light on. And oh, the other day I was chatting away to the camera and then realized that I hadn't pulled my microphone across. And so I started the video again, but actually the microphone had picked up everything. So it's just like, oh, there was no need for me to start again. There was no need for me to draw attention to the fact that the microphone wasn't directly in front of me. I could have just moved it and whatever. But you live and learn, don't you? That's kind of what I'm figuring out. Okay. I had somebody put a question saying, do you wear jeans? I do wear jeans. I'm kind of surprised to have that question. I haven't seen anybody log on as being watching the video. Do you wear jeans? I suppose this is a good learning opportunity to say, in terms of things going wrong, you might get some odd questions. I don't know what me wearing jeans has got to do with the price of fish. Again, on another Facebook Live, I had these, I think it was 3 or 4 guys hijack the comments and talk to each other through the comments. So they were talking about, have you got a sofa for sale? Yes, I have a sofa for sale. How much is the sofa for sale? And so there was just reams and reams and reams of comments about this sofa for sale. And again, I didn't see those comments until I'd finished. And I went to Facebook and I had a look at, I saw it and I thought, oh, it's a pain. I've got to delete all these, because you couldn't see the real comments in it, and it's just a bit of a pain. And I'm guessing it was distracting for anybody that was watching me live too. And I thought, okay, I can delete them. And then I had a quick look about their profile. Guys in their young, early 20s who just thought it'd be hilarious to try and wreck somebody else's Facebook Live. You just think, really? Really, is that the best thing you can do with your time? So you may be able to travel through life with none of these things happening. But my experience is these will happen. I spoke about this in one video about something being a rite of passage. It's like, maybe to be a YouTuber, or maybe to be in the arena, maybe to go do these things, maybe these are just experiences that you need to have. Your first person, I don't know, asking if they can marry you, asking if you've got a friend they can marry, sending you disgusting pictures. Interestingly, my first nude picture was from a lady who sent me a picture of her bottom and asking me if I liked it. And obviously since then there's been others. In a way, that's kind of, it's not good, but it's kind of easy to know what to do with that. When that happens, you just delete it. But I say, what else could be a rite of passage? Problems with the live, problems with the tech. These are all experiences that you're probably going to try and work hard to make sure that they don't happen. Instead of saying, oh, if that happens, what can I do beforehand to try and avoid that happening? Say, when that happens, when the tech fails, when I forget the extension cable, when I don't put the light on, when I have the microphone in the when, how am I going to move past that? It's a rite of passage for you to get to this end point of being able to share your work or share your ideas or express yourself. Then some of these things are going to happen. Yeehaw. I've been saying yeehaw a lot lately. I don't know why. Sometimes you just get into habits, don't you, of saying particular words. So I don't have any other questions popping up. And I'm wondering if I hover. Is there anything else that I can add about when tech goes wrong? Tech goes wrong, the if when. Oh, another thing Brené Brown said, which I thought was quite good. She was saying about having a toolbox of things that you can do. So for example, toolbox is give up, don't do something, or struggle through in the next 10 minutes. And she goes, that's a terrible toolbox. That's two things in the toolbox. You need to have other solutions. So, okay, give up, take a break, call a friend, Oh, that's funny. Another one of my Facebook lives, I couldn't figure out how to invite somebody onto the Facebook Live, and I couldn't figure out where it was. And in the end, I had to say to the people watching, I can't figure out where I'm supposed to be clicking to go to let you come on the screen with me. I can't figure it out. So can somebody in the comments tell me exactly the instructions of how to get into this part of the phone or the... And it was embarrassing. I mean, it was embarrassing. I suppose if your whole persona as a business is I'm super smooth and I never make mistakes and I always come across as professional and that's what I can teach you, then it's gonna be hard to start at the beginning with videos because you're gonna make those mistakes. Yeah. So as I say, I had this Facebook Live and they were really great. These people just gave me the instructions as to how I could help them get online. And we joked about it and we figured it out. And then I suppose the next time it got a little bit easier. And the next time it got a little bit easier again. But that's how it's going to be. Mistakes happen. Then how you deal with that is, I think, what people remember more. I don't know. I think it's unreasonable to expect them to forget that you've just made a mistake. But I do think they're deciding on your character and whether you're likable or whether you're like them as to how you handle it next. That kind of relates to the, when people have to do apologies or big public apologies. Again, sometimes I look at these famous people and they're doing the apology and you just think, do you not have a PR team to tell you how to do an apology? Because the apologies are so bad. I did an apology the other day, privately, but relating to work something. I behaved, in fact, what it was about 10 years ago, I'd arranged an interview and then I ghosted the person. And there was a lot of other things happening behind the scenes and what I was thinking to myself was at the time, I'll just get professional enough to do this and I'll just figure out the tech and I'll just do this and then I'll contact them again. So it was a couple of days later, a week later. And before you know it, I'd left it way too long for it to be comfortable. But I kept seeing their name pop up on my Facebook feed. And I thought, it wasn't somebody I particularly knew. It was somebody that I had on a bit of a pedestal that I wanted to interview. And I just handled it really, really badly. And the other day I thought, I'm going to write an apology. And as part of that apology, in my head, I was thinking, I ghosted you because this and because this and because this, because it's like, it's not relevant. Maybe if he wanted to engage in the conversation, we could talk about it. But what's relevant is I handled it really badly. I was not professional about it. I was disrespectful about his time because he'd arranged to do the interview. And as I say, to ghost somebody, this was ghosting before people were talking about ghosting. I just couldn't bring myself to face him because I was waiting until I was waiting until I'd achieved something. It's like, oh, I handled that badly, but ta-da, I've rectified it and I've fixed it and it's all great now. And does that make up for how bad I was before? And I thought, no, just bite the bullet. He doesn't, and I put in the apology. I'm not expecting anything from you. You don't have to reply. What I want is that when I see your name come up on the feed on my Facebook, I want to feel like I did the apology. That's it. Their response to things is completely separate. I had an issue with a neighbor once, and I wrote a letter, and it wasn't so much about there needing to be apologies or anything. It was about it needed to be spoken about calmly. And I wrote a letter about it. And people were saying, when I told people that I'd written the letter, they were saying, oh, and what did he say? What did he say back? And I said, that's beside the point. The point is, I dealt with it as in a way that I felt comfortable. And that's his business. He either does want to talk to me and respond to me, or he doesn't. It actually turned out he did, and he was grateful for the letter, and he said sorry, and blah, blah, blah. You try and work these things out. But the point was is that I had to decide how I wanted to handle it. And I genuinely felt like how he responds to that is none of my business in a way. I'm not waiting for a particular response. There you go. I had somebody join me for a moment, but then they're gone. Oh, somebody's back again. This is weird with the lives. I don't know whether you do lives. There's somebody here, but there's also people maybe in the future. Is that how long do you hang on with a live before you see a question? Normally, you have something that you want to talk about. And as I said today, it was about making the mistakes and deciding in advance how you're going to handle them. I definitely feel like I'm better at handling the mistakes now. I did a video yesterday, and it was a pre-recorded video where I was drawing a cartoon, and the cartoon just went really badly. I was supposed to be explaining to people like how cathartic and how good it was to have this experience to draw the cartoon, and it just went completely wrong, and I burst out laughing. And then afterwards I thought, that's the video I share. The video I share is that it went wrong, and I naturally just laughed about it, and I still felt okay sharing with you guys. Isn't that what you want from the process? That when it goes wrong, if it's not a big deal, and me drawing a bad cartoon is not a big deal, then I'd like to be the person that laughed about it and moved on and was okay with you seeing things. I think that's kind of something I've been learning as I've been doing these videos in terms of who I share and finding my voice, is that the mistakes and how I handle them is part of how I want to communicate. I don't know whether that's coming across. I have put up blooper reels and things like that. I said this the other day in a film, I really want anybody watching this, their response to be, I'm so glad she said that. I'm so glad she said that. Just calm you down. If you're struggling to express yourself, I'm glad she said that. I'm glad she articulated that particular feeling or that problem that she's having, because that's how you're feeling too. So I am gonna end the live. It's close to 25 minutes. If you see this live and you think to yourself, oh, I wished I'd caught it earlier, I'd have asked her a question, just put the question below because I'll roll it into another time. As I say, I'm still super, super small as a YouTube channel right now. Not sure when you'll see this. And I'm figuring stuff out, but I'm doing my very best to grab the moment and the momentum and hit record whenever I can. And I hope you feel that if you've waited this long and watched the whole thing, I really hope you feel that it's been worth your time. Oh, dear me. You take care. Bye.